Barbarian Horde, your main man is back to speak to you about Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Assassins. Now about a load of requests, responses, all kinds of things that we'll maybe talk about Assassins, talk about the character class, which I guess originally appeared. I'm sure someone's like, explain this book. No, it originally appeared in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition as a full-blown character class. We later see it in Second Edition as a kit in the Rogues book. They took it out as a class because they really tried to strip every bad thing in Second Edition. There were no half-orcs as player. There were no assassins in there. There were no demons or devils. So they pushed all that stuff away to later books that nobody wanted looking at. That's where they hid that stuff. But the assassin, it becomes a kit in Second Edition, and in 3.5 it becomes a prestige class. It is not a full class in 3.5 outside of there's an OGL book that's out there that has a full 20 level assassin character. The character class is very interesting. We're talking about that. But remember, Raw Immersive Games on Facebook. Like the page. Get your information. Get your updates on Within the Ring of Fire. Within the Ring of Fire to be released very, very soon. Hoping to have it out this month for you and your consuming Christmas dollars. And you can get your Within the Ring of Fire t-shirts, maps of Kavega Thale, and all many other things. Check it out here on my page. You can go right to the shop and stuff those stockings just the way you always want to, barbarian style. Get all the loot you need, Horde. Now, let's get back to talking about Assassins, because Assassins are a very interesting character concept that often doesn't work. And it should always be a red flag, always. Now, just because something is a red flag doesn't mean it gets the red rubber veto stamp. But you go, oh, assassin, you would do what now? Now, a tremendous amount of RPG horror stories exist around all kinds of assassins, whether they're Assamites, which you have seen me rant about. I do not like Assamites. Whether they are any type of assassin class or any sort of assassin concept. It can be very problematic. First of all, because the character itself isn't necessarily going to have a huge amount of respect for life. And this can always be a problem because they might go, oh, well, okay, you did that, and I'm going to PvP and kill you. And I'm going to do it while you're asleep. I'm going to poison your food. I'm going to X, Y, or Z. And create a problem. And that's always a problem. So you have to have built-in safeguards to prevent a character from just going right off the rails, going, oh, 0 to 60, you're dead. That's just not fun. It's just not fun. And if you play that way, you're just not going to get invited back. Not to any group that's worth a damn. Like, it might happen once and someone's like, all right, we'll forgive that. The second time, people start looking and you will be talked about. Trust me, whether it's people who are man enough to do it to your face or you get it behind their back, like, oh, I don't know about that dude. People talk, trust me. Your main man hears all. And there is much conversation about the quality of gamers and who they wish to play with and who they want to bring back and who they don't. So always think about those things when you're making character, putting ideas together, because you want to play your character, but you want to make your character in a way where it is playable, where it is not offensive or problematic. And assassins can really run a fine line there. One great way to bring an assassin about is to play sort of a divine fixed character, particularly, so let's say, Forgotten Realms, somewhere in like the 1360s DR, the shattered cult of Baal, after Baal is killed. They're scrambling around, they're trying to figure out what's going on with their god. They got Siricists after them, trying to convert them. Some are falling into other faiths, like perhaps Bishaba, or so many different places, or falling away from their religion at all. So that can be a very interesting story to tell, like in the Forgotten Realms. Like, okay, now you have a reason to adventure. That's a big problem with assassins. You often do not have a reason to adventure because assassins don't get up with an adventuring party and go hunt Trask with man-like intelligence. This is not what an assassin does. He's around the city. He's picking up contracts. He's going places. He's doing things. He's not wandering around with a bunch of heavy armored dudes. It's not what an assassin does. In fact, assassins really aren't these ninja type things either. They're just someone that's willing to kill you and passably good at getting away with it. In fact, any version of a rogue makes a perfect assassin. Pickpockets, drop the poison in their glass, seduce someone sexually and take advantage of them in an opportune moment, lure someone away, wait in ambush for someone, pick a lock and slide into their room and stab them in the eyeball. These are the kind of things an assassin does. A lot of the combat tactics that they've given assassins, quite frankly, are a little on the absurd side, like chance of killing someone when they hit them. That's not how assassin works. Those are things that a fighter would have. because a fighter can outfight anyone. He's a fighter, like Jesse Ventura, a fighter. So that's what a fighter does. You know, that the fighters are the flankers, fighters are the automatic kill guys. So mechanically, it doesn't make any sense when you have that. People go, oh, well, assassins have this. No, assassins aren't trained to kill people in armor and that see them. They're trained to kill people that don't. That's what an assassin does. That's what an assassin is. That's how they bring about their ability. You know, they are the masters of poison, so that makes sense. You see that represented a lot of times. They're very good at that, and they should be. And poison can have a lot of uses, but they're not. They shouldn't be. In fact, they should probably actually be worse in combat than most characters. You know, like a AD&D rogue is a good example. AD&D rogues, or AD&D thieves, I should say, are not good fighters. They're just not. They had other advantages, but they're not good fighters. Now, an assassin, if he got it behind somebody, and then maybe, but that's not how assassination works. You know, assassins, they're not bounty hunters. You know, a lot of times like, people try to use them to make like a Star Wars style bounty hunter in a D&D game. That's not what an assassin is. It's not really a good build for that. I mean, a bounty hunter is more like a ranger, not an assassin. So an assassin shouldn't be a warrior type. He's someone that just has no problem with, or at least is willing to. Let's amend that and go someone who's willing to kill for money or for other things or for other reasons. The holy assassin, the sort of priest assassin, I think is a really fascinating concept. I mentioned Ball and I mentioned a DR to where that would really work well and give you a prompt motivation for adventuring, because you always want to have and adventure doesn't have to be, you know, fighting the Tarrasque, which would be, you know, our own dungeon delving. It can be all sorts of things. Now, if you're in a politically motivated city, a game that's sort of run like Vampire the Masquerade in a Dungeons and Dragons world with D&D style characters, an assassin all of a sudden becomes a very different, far more usable type character. And of course, in like a one-on-one situation, assassin can be fine. They have magic in 3.5, which I don't even want to start on that. That's just stupid. I mean, come on. It's like what? What? It's just a rogue. It's just a type of rogue. Why on earth do they have magic? And someone's gonna go, oh, well, in this book, no. No. Yeah, I just looked at that and went, you gotta be kidding me. So I've never used the 3.5, 3.0 prestige class because it has magic and has stuff that just isn't an assassin. I forget which book it is. There's an OGL assassin class. I think a couple of levels of that on a character one time, and it worked okay. I thought those levels were all right. I thought the class was okay. Still, it's still too fightery though. You know, they often try to make an assassin a fighter, and that's not what an assassin is. An assassin is a lethal killer. He should be very good at killing. He should probably be like the best at backstabbing, but not sneak attacking. Sneak attack's a whole different thing. Assassin doesn't run up on your flank and start hitting you. You know, that's not how assassins work. So in Dungeons & Dragons, there's an enormity of problems with the assassin class and actually rendering it realistically with a realistic feel and flavor, which is, after all, you should want to do with a character, because it leads to being able to suspend disbelief to a greater level. The more you suspend disbelief, the more immersion you have. The more immersion you have, the more suspension disbelief you have, the more fun you have. The more you're in it, you're in the moment. It's fluid, it's liquid. You're feeling it, and that's when you have the rush. So that's what I aim for. That's what I shoot for, and that's what I try to design videos to talk about. But overall, I would say the different presentations of the Assassin D&D are very lacking. They need more, and you want to make sure that someone's playing it for the right reasons. They're playing to have this interesting, entertaining character, not because they're like, oh, I got scores to settle with people, or oh, I'm not going to be pushed around. I'm not going to, you know, because you got people like that sometimes in D&D. You're like, are you kidding me? You want to win? If you have a to-win player mentality, do not want to play an assassin. You know, just like any other type of evil character, you should have characters that are players that are able to maturely handle that without just going roughshod and killing everybody. You need to talk about the concepts, about the personality, about the psychology, to make sure that that's not likely to happen. I mean, things can always pop off and happen, but it shouldn't be like a 99.9% chance of that happening. That's not where you want to be, and not where you want to be designing the character either. That's not in the interest of entertainment, of fun for the game master, for the other players. These are the kind of things that make games just crumble like that. If you're someone that crumbles games, I've seen players out there even like that. I mean, God, please stop the hobby. You know, stop. This isn't for you. Go run your head in the wall. Make that your hobby. How about that? So, you know, you have your divinely focused assassins, which I think makes sense. Adventuring, you're going out there, you're serving the will of your god, you're handling the people, you're, you know, a stone cold killer. Stone cold, stone cold, stone cold. Stop a mud hole and walk it dry. But, you know, you can have that. You can have sort of this contract, sort of individual. But you really want to make sure that you have some kind of reason that you might be doing whatever the game master kind of has in mind. If you run a dungeon crawling type adventure, I mean, a city-based contract killing a seducing assassin, why on earth would you be there? So you need to kind of talk to your game master, say, well, does this fit? Does this make sense? Always with any character do that. A lot of times people don't, and they end up with like not having a fun time because they just jack themselves. So those are my thoughts on the assassin. If you want to hear about other classes in particular that I have not covered, look through the list. I have done a ton of D&D Pathfinder classes. If you don't see it after looking, feel free to write it in there and ask, and you know we can put that on the Repetendum for review, baby. So, Jermaine, man, I will confront you later.